note on reinventing Africa in a digital world. In 2020, Africa is a continent of over 1.3 billion people. This is according to the United Nations statistics. And this population of Africa is largely a youthful population, as 50% of this population are people aged below 20 years. And 65% of the population are people aged below 35 years. People between the ages of 15 to 35 years account for 35% of this population. And this 35% is roughly 455 million people. That means Africa has a youthful population consisting about 455 million youths who are energetic, vibrant, ready to work. Normally, this is a big economic advantage, as these people can contribute to growing the economy. Unfortunately, this youthful population can also be a time bomb, because if these youthful populations are not properly engaged, they can become restive and become instruments in the hands of dubious politicians and fundamentalists. Now, according to statistics by the African Development Bank, only 15% of these 455 million youths in Africa are fully employed, have a steady income or wage. 35% of them are employed or have something doing, but do not have a stable income. 19% of this population are inactive, and a whopping 31%, meaning over 100 million of these youths are unemployed and discouraged. And these are people that different fundamentalists have used to cause crisis and mayhem across Africa. Now, this statistics was even before the pandemic. So as we speak, the chances are that more Africans, especially the youth, may be unemployed. So one thing we can tell from these statistics from the African Development Bank is that over 100 million young Africans who are able, energetic, vibrant, are not employed. And this accounts for the reason why you see so many Africans desperate to leave their fatherland. Many Africans desperate to escape the land of Africa. Now, let's quickly watch this clip from Al Jazeera. Hundreds of Africans died from a boat capsize while trying to cross the Mediterranean. There were over 700 Africans on board. This obviously sad. The record says that on the average, 6 Africans die every day trying to cross the Mediterranean. Now, these are dreams buried, dreams shattered. These are not lazy people. These are people who are desperate to earn a living, who are willing to contribute to the economy, but they do not have the opportunity, leading to this desperation to leave the land of Africa. But this shouldn't be so. Now, one unfortunate aspect of it is that even crossing over to Europe or America is not an automatic ticket to good life. It's not an automatic ticket to greatness. Because when these Africans cross over to these foreign lands, they still face serious challenges. If you are regular on the social media, you may have come across this clip or picture of a young African American who was murdered in cold blood on the streets of America. Now, the other picture shows another black man who had to spend 37 years of his life in prison on false accusation of rape. It was only after 37 years that through the help of technology was discovered that he was innocent of the offense for which he was sentenced to life imprisonment. This is sad and ought not to be so. Africa is blessed. God has blessed Africa with treasures of crude oil, treasures of gold and diamond. And on top of this, Africa has one of the best climates for agriculture. And Africa is spared from most of natural disasters like earthquake. So as a matter of fact, there shouldn't be any reason why Africans should be desperate to leave the soil of Africa. Africans are great. Africa has great men and women, enterprising, intelligent people. In the recent Forbes list of billionaires, there are over 10 Africans, most of whom made their money in the soil of Africa. So there is no reason actually why Africans should be desperate to leave Africa. Africans are great. Africans are intelligent. Africans are vibrant. Africans are enterprising. Our young people are energetic and they are focused. They are not lazy by any chance. And there are quite a number of young Africans who are doing well. But obviously, we are not where we need to be. But in every young Africa lies greatness. Every young African, I am convinced, has what it takes to be great. But just like a seed that must be planted to grow into a tree and then be able to bear fruits, young Africans need to be cultivated. They need to be tilled and planted. Their minds need to be developed and tilled with the right philosophy and the right orientation. They need to be watered with relevant knowledge, and they need to be planted in an ecosystem that supports their productivity and enterprise. And this is why this bootcamp has become important, to provide a platform to inform, to educate, and to empower young Africans. There is no doubt there are constraints, but I find the biggest constraints in our minds. Consciously or unconsciously, we have been sold some lies that has placed some form of chains on us, that have put us in some form of mental slavery. I want to ask some questions. Though I may not have answers to them, but I leave you to provide the answers. Are we actually blacks? Now, if we say we are blacks, is it a description? And does it actually describe us? Looking at the faces I see here and the faces I see on the streets of Africa, I've not really seen people who are blacks. At best, you see people who have black hairs on their head. Now, having black hairs on your head, should you qualify to describe you as black? Well, that shouldn't be a problem, so to say. But in addition, it appears as if black now connotes evil. And that brings me to the next question. Is black evil? Yes, even as a child, this picture has always been painted to us in pictures, in cartoons, and the rest of them, that the devil is black. Angels are possibly white, and the devil is black. And the question I ask, is this really true? Now, from my primary 5 Bible knowledge, I was taught that the devil was once an angel before he disobeyed God and was cast out of heaven. Now, if we go by that story, and if we believe that angels have color, then if angels are white, the devil will also be white because he was once one of them. So I think this may be more of a way of psychologically putting us on disadvantage. Creating the impression that Africans are black and black is evil. I want to say, and I must say here, that I think if human race is to be categorized, it should and possibly shouldn't be on the basis of color. We are not necessarily claiming superiority. We are just trying to affirm that Africans are not inferior and no other race is inferior. Every human race should be treated with dignity. We should respect Africans and we should respect every other human race. Now we should free ourselves from these connotations, these things that have held us bondage. So we should unlock the possibilities in our mind, young Africans. You may be black or white or green, but you have greatness in you. You may be born in Africa or in Europe, you have greatness in you. Your greatness does not lie in the condition of your birth. It does not even lie in whether your parents are economically advantaged or disadvantaged. The truth is that you have greatness in you. You have what it takes to be great, and you can be great. Even if you do not have Western education or degree, you still have greatness in you, and you can unleash this greatness. One good thing is that technology has removed most of the barriers we had before now. Technology empowers us, and there's so much we can do with technology. Most of the limitations we still place on ourselves are just mental barriers. There are limitations in our minds. There is so much you can do with your phone. Technology empowers us. But the thing is that technology does not tell you what to do with the power it has given you. Now think about it. With your mobile phone, every other human being on this earth who is on the internet is just a click away if you know what to click. Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America, is a click away because you can tweet him on Twitter. The pontiff of the Roman Catholic Church is a click away. The richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, is a click away. Yes, because you can read these people if you know how to read them, leveraging the power of digital technology. Let me blow your mind. Do you know that the smartphone you have in your hand has more computing power than Apollo jets that took man to the moon some years back? So you have power in you. Technology gives you power, but it does not tell you what to do with the power. And that's why the Digital Africa Bootcamp has been fashioned and planned to enable you discover how to use technology in this digital age to empower yourself. Many people tell me that the young men are on the social media. And one thing I tell them is that the problem is not being on social media. The problem is, what are you doing on social media? Are you creating value or are you destroying value? It's not just about technology, it's what you use the technology to do. For instance, not long ago, some pastors, we are against some of their members coming to church with mobile phone. But today, the church is in the mobile phone. So the problem is not the use being on social media. The problem is, what are they doing on social media? And that is why, through this virtual bootcamp, we want to use social media platform to empower the African youth and to guide them on how to create value even on the social media platforms. Let me close on this. The best education is not the one that tells you what you don't know, but it's the one that brings out the best in you. So, dear Digital Africa champions, this bootcamp, we have not brought you to this bootcamp to tell you what you do not know possibly, because looking at your profile, so many of you may even know more than we do. But we have brought you here to create a platform to enable you to think and rethink your life. Think and discover opportunities. Discover the power you have in you. Discover the talent you have in you, because there is so much in you. You have all it takes to be great. It's already in you. You are wired for greatness. And now to guide you on how to apply this to solve problems in your communities. And by so doing, create value in the digital economy. And then you can excel in today's digital world. Thank you.